We're here in the Alpena room at the George M. Fletcher Alpena County Library, and Mary Beth is here to give us a little history lesson on Alpena. So tell us, where did Alpena start? How did it get here?
Oh, well, this is one of my most favorite topics. I get so excited to talk about Alpena, and I'm very excited that we're here in the Alpena room because it is an amazing resource for the community if you want to know how we started and where we came from. And a couple of things about Alpena, sometimes we're referred to as the boom town that forgot to bust, or the town that wouldn't die. And people say that because if you look at our history, we have had a knack for reinventing ourselves over and over again. When our founding fathers came to town with last names like Fletcher, Lockwood, Oldfield, and Minor, which might be familiar street names in town or the name
Libraries.
of this facility, they saw so much potential. And if you can imagine coming into early Alpena in the early 1850s, it was nothing but forests, rivers, lakes, streams, and swampland. So they had to trudge through all of that to get to anywhere that would be suitable for building upon. But what they saw was tremendous prosperity with logging, and that's really how we started and how we were founded. We were a town founded primarily on the logging and timber industry, harvesting trees. The place was dotted with sawmills, turning that into board and shipping it out on the Great Lakes. If you can imagine, 150 years ago, looking out at our bay, it was full of all kinds of ships, wooden schooners, freighters, passenger boats that were hauling goods back and forth as well as people in and out. It really was an incredible sight. Alpena really was a boom town. Now, over the years, eventually logging died out. It kind of ran its course, and people didn't want to leave. They just loved Alpena so much and thought it was so beautiful that they just decided they would not let the town fizzle out like so many other logging towns did. And that was when they discovered mining, and we are sitting right on top of a huge karst formation, which means a wealth of limestone and shale. So if you've heard of places like Rockport or the current Lafarge cement plant, we just went to town digging in the earth and had a rebirth or resurgence in prosperity at that time too.
And what happened after mining? So we went from logging, mining, and then did mining die out?
Well, mining has kind of always been there. It's not as much as it used to be, but then we got pretty handy with manufacturing, and names like Besser. Jesse Besser invented a block making machine.
I just did something on that the other day.
Yeah, so no longer did they have to do it by hand. They could now improve their efficiencies, and then they started manufacturing those machines. We also used to manufacture a car, the Alpena Flyer here in town, and then other things like composite wood products, DPI, which through the years, many people still consider it Abitibi, because a long time ago, that is how they were known, and they make board out of wood pulp. So it's a composite material. It's a lot less expensive for temporary solutions, shelving units, and things like that. And then across town, panel processing would take that board and make it into things. So we've been pretty successful with manufacturing over the years. And one thing that I find interesting when I'm reading about the history of Alpena is that those who came here, like the Fletcher family and the Lockwoods, they really saw a lot of potential, and they all pitched in. It didn't matter if you had gone to school or had one skill set. You were called upon to do many things. So the first family that settled in Alpena were the Carters, Daniel, Sarah, and Mary. And
do you know about what time frame?
We're talking like late 1850s.
Okay.
And they came, and it was really rough. If you can imagine, as a woman coming into a town that was predominantly male, and the first woman, Daniel's wife, was also the physician, and it wasn't because she went to school to be a doctor. It was they needed someone to take care of people, and she had a knack for helping and a little bit of nursing background, so she became the town's first physician, as well as the first female settler.
Oh,
So
that's exciting.
it's really interesting. And her husband, who was here to look after the Fletcher interests, was also became the postmaster, and I think also served as the justice of the peace for a while. So if you look back at early Alpena, everyone kind of came together to make this town happen. And I think that it says a lot for today because we're at a crossroads where we may have discovered that manufacturing, with the state of the economy, manufacturing isn't going to take care of us as much as it used to. So we have to think of something new, a new revenue stream to come in and take care of the people who want to call this place home. So it's another opportunity for us to all pull together, take a look at what skills we have, and continue blazing a trail in Alpena to continue to make Alpena the boom town that will never bust.